That's gonna mess up my face card. Imagine if I recruit people and then you don't even go to the school and you giving people a fake name, like you're not even giving people your government name, and then these people get scammed and their account get closed down and they come back to me and they trying to beat me up. You've seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even gotta say nothing because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on way. That's on period and very hot a little land. As y'all can see by the title of the video, today I'm gonna be telling y'all the story time about how my friend switched up on me for a scammer that I introduced her to, y'all. This story time is crazy and I honestly forgot about this, but yesterday I was going through my requests on Instagram and I got one of those messages that was just like, hey, remember me? Hey, remember me? And it's just like, yeah, I remember that time you tried to scam me. I do remember you, but I ain't respond back to the message because it's just like, really? You really gonna try to pop up after all of these years? Like, you thought after 5 years I was gonna forget what you did to me when I was my brokest? Never. I would never forget. I would forget, but I'm never gonna forget. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, this story time has like 3 of my other story times mixed in this story time. So it's gonna be times where I'm gonna reference story times that I gave y'all in the past, and I'll probably just put like a card right here on the screen, or I'll probably just link the story times down below. So if you really wanna really understand the story time, y'all gonna have to be here. You're gonna have to be a day one, but I'm gonna link the card right here. I'm gonna link it down below. Also, before we get into this video, go ahead and subscribe because that helps your girl out. So go ahead and like the video. I'm waiting. Thank you. Okay, so this is also a spinoff of the Ghetto call center. If you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna go ahead and link this right here. But for the new people, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a backstory on the Hood call center. So I used to work for Verizon, and it's sad to say, but I'm black, so I can say this, y'all. Sometimes when black people get in management positions, they just do too much. Like, they do everything but what they supposed to be doing. So I was working for a call center, and I'm not gonna give y'all the company that I was working for, but all I'm gonna say, if you live in Tallahassee, Florida, they all over there. They're even international, y'all. It was a Ghetto call center, and the CEO of this contractor was a black man, and 90% of the people that worked at this call center was black. It was just giving very much ghetto, and I just hate to say it, but y'all, that's what it was giving. Remember, I told y'all this call center had detectors, like metal detectors. When you came into work every day, I went through a metal detector. At 21 years old, y'all, I was going through metal detectors. They had to take our phone. We couldn't wear like belts and stuff at the call center. The bathroom was stank, y'all. We had hygiene meetings because it smelled like tuna and catfish every day, like not just on like Fridays, but y'all, every day the call center smelled like booty. Like, literally, we used to have meetings like every month about teaching women like not to throw pads in the toilet, not to wear your panty liner or your tampon too long, because the girls just, y'all, they didn't notice. Like, you would smell like every day when I walked into this call center, a little swift of tuna sandwich would like hit my nose, because that's how bad this was. Like, if you walk past the hallway, that's the bathroom, like you didn't even have to be in the bathroom. If you just walk past that area, you would smell it. Like, it smelled so bad. Like, I don't know who was burning at this call center, or if the people that worked there just had bad hygiene, but it was just, y'all, it was terrible. So this call center required me to go through like a 12-week training. Mind you, the only person I knew at this call center was my cousin, but my cousin had already worked there for like, I want to say she had already worked there for like maybe like 4 or 5 months before me, y'all. She actually put me onto this job. So I had got tired of Chick-fil-A BS. I left Chick-fil-A and I started working at the Hood call center. And everybody and their mama was coming to this Hood call center because at the time they paid $12 an hour. So in college, $12 an hour, and if you live in Tallahassee, like, rent was really cheap. Like, you can get like a 3-bedroom apartment for like $600, including amenities and utilities, y'all. Like, the rent was really cheap. Finally, I'm at this call center. I don't know anybody in my training class. I don't know no one, y'all, but it was just this girl. We're gonna go ahead and call her Cindy, because she really wanted to be a Cindy, y'all. She always wanted to be a Cindy, but her real name was Sharkeisha. Like, she was a Sharkeisha, but she wanted to be a Cindy. And y'all probably like, Asia, like, what does that even mean? But y'all know those people that I'm not gonna say she didn't want to be black, but she was like a valley girl. Like, you know, we have ethnic names. Like, my name is Asia, y'all. I never met a white Asia or a Hispanic Asia. Like, I met only black Asias and biracial Asia. Like, if you know an Asia that's not black or biracial, like you learn something new every day. I personally never met one, y'all. So she had like an ethnic name where by her name you could probably tell that she was possibly black. Like it wasn't even ghetto, y'all. So for example, say if her name was like I don't know, what's another name? Say if her name was Deja, she would go and tell everybody that her name was Brittany or Ashley. Like she wouldn't even tell people that she was close to what her real name was. Like if it wasn't for me working at the job with her, I would never know what her real name was this day. And I ain't gonna hold you, like my middle name is atrocious. My middle name has like 13 syllables and it's ghetto, y'all. I got like 15 letters in my middle name. And no, I'm not telling y'all my middle name. So I definitely get it, but I would just never lie to people and tell them my name is something else. So she basically had a nickname that was nowhere near her real name. So I found out this girl was a liar like early on. But she was the first person that befriended me in this training class. And we was gonna be in this class together for 12 weeks. And quite frankly, y'all, in order for me to start working like on the floor, I needed to pass tests and stuff. So she was my girl or whatever. So me and her started to become close because we used to always, like, it was always tea. Like, this was a very much ghetto call center. Like, people's baby mamas would come on there. People would be fighting on there. Like, all the co-workers, like, even the CEO of this contractor, he was very unprofessional. Like, him and my training teacher, they were actually having intercourse. Like, they had something going on. We found that out on the job. All the managers was dating everyone else. And honestly, in order for you to be a manager at this job, you basically had to know nothing. Like, anytime I would raise my hand on the floor to get help or assistance from a manager, the manager wouldn't know nothing. So in order for you to be a manager, you just didn't have to know anything. Like, the job was just, y'all, this was honestly one of the worst jobs I ever had. So boom, we in the training class, and I remember one day, the CEO of the company, he came in there and we were just getting ready to graduate, and you know, he wanted to, you know, wish us well or whatever. He came in there and he gave us a few words, and as he was giving the words, y'all, the training teacher was smashing the CEO of the contract. So she was like, she just couldn't stop smiling and laughing and giggling. Like, the girl was feeling butterflies with every word. So they kind of gave it away. And it was rumors around the call center that they had something going on. But y'all, it really just gave it away that day. And fast forward, I started, if y'all haven't seen this story time, how I found out he had a baby on me. I started messing with a ninja at the call center, and there's a rule, like, you never supposed to date people that you work with. Like, just don't do it, y'all. Take it from me, just don't do it. If you want to know why, watch that story time. But I started dating somebody at the call center, and Cindy, she also started dating somebody at the call center, and it wasn't my manager, but it was her manager. She started dating her manager, and I started dating one of my coworkers that was in the training class with me. And y'all, when I say it was ghetto, it was ghetto. Like, everybody in their mama was ghetto in this call center, like, including me, because I worked there and I was acquaintances, and I just, like, the fact that I even worked there, y'all, I was ghetto. Like, the whole thing was just, it was a hot mess, y'all. So boom, one day we at the call center, and let me back up a little bit. Let me tell you, she was dating one of the managers, and you know, we was just young at this time. So if you was dating a manager or anybody with leadership, in a leadership position, you would just think like, ooh, like, he got money. Like, you know, you would be boastful. Like, she was real boastful about him. We're gonna go ahead and call the guy that she was dating, the manager, we're gonna go ahead and call him fraud, y'all, because he was a fraud. Y'all gonna find out. So boom, he drove a Benz at the job, y'all. He drove a Benz every day to work, and these wasn't one of them old Benz. This was like a nice newer class Benz. All the managers at the job, they made like $18 at the time. We made $12, and you know, we 2021, so we really thinking like, that's money, that's nice. And you know, when you younger, little things impress you. So we was impressed by anything. So she's talking to him or whatever. But one day we sitting outside the job or whatever, and some girl pulls up in a Benz, and we knew this Benz. This was the Benz that, what did I just name the manager? Fraud. This was the Benz that Fraud used to drive every day, and she would know because she would be in this Benz because, you know, Fraud was her man. So she pulls up in the Benz or whatever, and she gets out. In order for you to enter this call center, they had guards, y'all. They had guards at the door. So she gave the guard like some lunch or whatever, and then she went back or whatever. And my friend Cindy was looking at the girl, and we were eyeballing the girl because I'm looking like, why is she bringing your man lunch up here to the job? Like, that's your man car. Like who is that or whatever? So we looking at the girl looking at us, and we not saying anything, but the girl can like just tell like we don't really mess with her, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, I ain't have nothing to do with it, but that's my friend man car. So if she mugging, I'm mugging. That's what type of time I was on at the time. So we mugging the girl gets back in her car, she going about her way, we go back in the job. At this point, me and Cindy, we don't work near each other because we out of the training class. So she works, I think, like on the west side of the call center, and I work like on the opposite side. And yes, y'all, I'm saying west side because it was giving very much west side, south side, gang. Yeah, the call center was just giving like it was mini gangs, y'all. Like each manager had a mini gang. That's what it was giving. So one day that happened, and then I don't think that happened consecutively. Like I don't think that happened the next day, but I remember like shortly after that following week, we seen this same woman come up to the job. And we saw her and she saw us. We did the whole little staring thing. This time I was really in my phone or whatever. Cindy walked up to her car or whatever, and I don't remember what she said to the girl, but basically she was asking the girl like, why you in my man's car? Because Cindy was from Miami, y'all. Cindy wasn't one of those girls that beat around the bush. Like if she felt a type of way about something, she gonna say it, like she gonna speak up or whatever. So she had words with the girl, and it didn't get rowdy or anything, but to my understanding, they was like talking or whatever, and I was like up on the hill because at this call center all the people would like hang out, like we was on a block like in the front of the call center. So I remember her coming back to me and she was just like, Asia, he got a baby. Fraud got a baby. And I'm just like, no, he got a baby. And she's like, Asia, that's not even the worst of it. That's not even Fraud's car. The girl told me that that's her car, and Fraud was driving her car when she was on leave because she had just had his baby. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, that's not even her car, and every day she drops him off to work, like he don't even own a car. So I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. So now we finding out like he a fraud. Like, yeah, you a manager, but one, you lied to her, you got a baby, you just had a baby, and you talking to all the girls at the call center, and then two, you don't got no money. Like you don't got no car. Like how you a manager but you don't got no car? And I'm only saying this, y'all, because Fraud gave Fraud, like he was one of those flashy managers. He would come into work with like the Gucci belt. He would have like the LV, like the little man bag or whatever. Like he would come into work dressed to the T, and he just gave like, I got money and I'm the man. Like he walked around with like big Scorpio energy. So after that, we really started to bond because that following week, I ended up finding out that the situation, I don't remember what I named him in that story time, but the guy that I was dating at that time, I ended up finding out that he had a whole baby on me. And y'all already know how I found out. I was at his house and I seen a baby picture, and it said like 2018. And I'm just like, wait, this can't be you because it say 2018. So I ended up finding out that he had a whole baby on me. And y'all, it's crazy because like a few months ago, I found out that my ex watched my story times because I just happened to click on his story, his Facebook story, y'all, and he was just like, it was like one of them memes, but it was like a meme with words on it, and it was just like, there's always three sides to a story, and then he wrote on a picture, and he was just like, and I'm gonna keep letting you tell your story. Like the only side of the story is my side because you was a
bitch.
Let me keep it going, y'all, because the story not even about him. But boom, that situation happened. So every day, me and her, like, we bonding over the fact that we both talking to niggas that's not no good. So every day I would be telling her, because sadly, y'all, I really liked, I don't remember what I named him, but the dude that I was talking to at this time, my boyfriend, I really liked him. So after I found out that he had a baby, he didn't have a baby on me, y'all. He had a baby before we started, before I even met him, he had a baby, but he never told me about him having a baby. So I found out probably like after a month of us dating. And by that time, he was already my man. And I ain't want to leave him, and I was only 21, so realistically I was not on no stepmommy thing. And I don't know if y'all remember, but I told y'all in that story time, his baby mama and the baby lived like 6 hours away, and it sound kind of bad, y'all, but I guess I wasn't planning to have a future with him. If I cared to have a future with him, I would have cared more. But at this time, it was just like, I'm not about to be no stepmommy. Like, the baby, it's your baby, the baby's not cute, you not cute. Like, I don't know, y'all. The type of mindset I had then, it was just like, I'm not gonna be no stepmama. The baby don't even live here, and you just my boyfriend for the meantime. Like, I already knew that. You know when you dating a guy, and this not gonna be the guy that you gonna marry. Like, this is just something to do in the meantime. That's what type of person he was. So we continued to date after I found out, like, he lied about him having a baby or whatever. And then, like I said, Cindy was finding out that her work babe was a fraud and he ain't have no money. and he also had 2 baby mamas. So we ended up finding that out later. So every day during our lunch, all we used to do is just sit in the car and just like talk about our life. Like we used to just talk about what we was going through and all the drama at this hood call center. And this is around the time when I should have just took it from him, like not to talk to her, because she was a pathological liar. Like, y'all, when I say this girl lied about everything, she lied about everything. And it's just like, if a person would lie about any and everything, why wouldn't you think they would lie to you? But at this time, I put everything past her, y'all. I didn't think she would lie to me, but she was a liar just looking back at everything. So I remember one day we were sitting in the car. Also, I want to mention, y'all, Cindy was the type to act like she was a sugar baby. She would just make it seem like guys that were like in higher positions, they would just fly her out, they would give her money. Like she would always be mentioning things, or anytime he sent her money, she would send me little cash apps and be like, Daddy cashed me out, Fraud cashed me out, Fraud did this, he got dinner tonight. Or like anytime, if you follow her on social media, she was one of those girls that would post everything a ninja did for her. Like if a guy take me shopping, I'm not posting it on my story. Like I just don't care to post it. Maybe when I was 21, I would have posted something like that. But even now, to this day, I'm sure she still do stuff like that, because that's the type of person she was. So anytime anybody did anything for her, she would post it on, we was on Snapchat heavy at this time, so she would post it on Snapchat, and it could be like the smallest thing, y'all. He could have brought her a jacket because it was cold outside. He ain't want her to die, and she'll just be like, Daddy bought me a jacket. Like she'll post a tag and price tag on her, y'all. She was just very materialistic nonetheless. So one day we sitting in the car, because like I said, we was really close, and at this time she was no longer my work friend. Like we would hang out outside of work, we would hang out inside of work, we would hang out all the time, y'all. We was practically like close friends. I wouldn't consider her a best friend, but we was really close friends at this time. So I remember one day we on our lunch break, and we had an hour lunch break, and this hood call center was like by a bunch of restaurants. So some days if we had time, we used to like dine in at restaurants on our lunch break. But this particular day, I remember, y'all, we had Popeyes. We went to Popeyes and we sat in her car to eat. And this day was shortly after she found out that Fraud had did something else fraudulent to her, and she was just like venting and expressing herself. And I don't know about y'all, but I like to put honey on my Popeyes chicken. I don't know why, but I just do. So I was putting honey on my chicken, y'all, and I end up spilling some honey on my shirt. And y'all know everybody and their mama put napkins in their glove compartment. So I opened her glove compartment up, y'all, and I reached in there just to get a napkin. When I say the girl literally almost broke my finger, like she almost broke my finger, y'all. So I'm reaching in there to just, get a napkin so I can wipe my shirt up because I spilled honey on it. She said, boom, like she just boom, and she slammed the glove compartment. And I'm just like, you okay? And before she slammed it, y'all, I had already seen all the swipers. If you don't know what swipers are, y'all, it's basically like stolen cars or whatever. She was a swiper, and by this time we was already friends for like 4 months. And I'm thinking, like, if you was a swiper, you just could have told me that. Because like I said, y'all, the girl gave Valley girl. She was very materialistic. She had a lot of like luxury items, and she used to just make it seem like, oh, guys bought her luxury items, or she was a sugar baby. She made it seem like guys did all this stuff for her. But it's just like, if you have all these sugar daddies, why are you out here in the field? Like, why you got swipers on deck? And it probably was like, no exaggeration, y'all, no hyperbole, but it probably was like 100 swipers in there. Like when she slammed it, you can hear the recoil from the cars. Like the cars was like dangling in there. Like she said, pop, and you would hear like aftermath of the cars dangling. And I seen all the cards from like a second, y'all, and I'm just like, wow. And y'all probably like, Asia, how you know that ain't a bunch of gift cards? But no, y'all, these was Visa cards. These were cards, and there was IDs in there. So she had a bunch of swipers. And like I said, the fact that she slammed it that fast, I wasn't gonna ask her like, hey, you a swiper, you were a scammer. I wasn't gonna ask her any of that, because it's just like, obviously that's her business, and she wanted to say her business. So that was another time that I realized, like, oh, girl, you a liar. Like, you're not really living a lifestyle that you portray to be on social media or whatever. But after that situation happened, I just noted, like, all right, she a swiper, or she be doing jobs on the low, or she knows somebody that's a swiper, y'all. And she was from Miami, so it wasn't hard for me to believe that she was in the fields herself, because, she's from Miami, and that's literally swiper city or whatever. So fast forward after that, I had already dropped my call center boyfriend. I dropped him because, like I said, the relationship was just temporary. At that time, I'm just thinking, like, you a for now type of guy. Like, in the long run, we done. Like, and if y'all want to know how we ended things, this is another spinoff of another story time about, what was that story time? Oh, it was titled I Called 911. And if y'all a day one, you know what I'm talking about. It's about the pasta. All I'm gonna say is pasta. I called 911 over pasta. If you haven't seen that story time, click right here, y'all. So me and him broke up over the pasta situation. Fast forward, she also broke up with Fraud because they was never officially dating, y'all. But she just found out that Fraud was just too broke for her, so she dropped him. And let me tell y'all how that happened, because that actually was kind of like, it was just bizarre. Like one day, they used to also have parties at, it wasn't at a manager house, but it was at one of my coworkers' house. They used to have parties every Friday, and like I said, I never used to go to these parties because I don't believe that you should be friends or you should be hanging out with your coworkers outside work. But like I said, y'all, at this time I was making an exception for Cindy, but I do not to get too close to my coworkers, because you know coworkers be fake and they pretend to be your friend, but really they just somebody you make money with. Like if it wasn't for this job, half of your coworkers you wouldn't even hang out with anyway. And that is the mindset I had at this time. But Cindy asked me to come to this party, and I pulled up at this party, and me and my ex, we were no longer together anymore, y'all, but he was at this party or whatever. So we at this party, and the managers are at this party. That's how unprofessional it is. Like to this day, like now I would never go to a party that I know my manager is gonna go to. Like why would you be at a party with your manager? Like, you know, that's just unprofessional, all the way unprofessional, y'all. But at this time, hey, I did it. I'm at the party, and my manager wasn't there, but some of my other co-workers' managers was there, and you know, just people at the job was there. And this particular night, the night kind of started off kind of normal. Like everybody was playing games with shots, and I remember us playing this one game, and it kind of was like never have I ever. So if you did it, you had to take a shot. And at first it started off real chill. They was just like, oh, take a shot if you wearing blue, like take a shot if you called out for work and you really didn't have an emergency. And then it went from there to take a shot if you had sex with one of your coworkers. And that's just when I had to go. Like they said that question or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I had to go. And I came to this party with Sydney. So when we left out, Sydney left with her manager, aka Fraud, and I just left and I went home, and my ex was there. But like I said, me and him, we were not seeing eye to eye. We wasn't cool. So I just left, and the party just got too ratchet for me, because it's just like, why y'all going there? Like alcohol, and now y'all telling everybody business, and y'all know it's gonna get back to the job on Monday. Just like it did, they got back to the job on Monday. Everyone was talking about the situation at the job or whatever. So boom, she went home with Fraud. And like I said, y'all, Cindy is the type of girl that posts any and everything. Like anything she get, anything she eats, she smell, like anything she does, she was posting it on Snapchat this time. So she had posted a picture of crab legs and I think lobsters, and I don't remember what restaurant they went to in Tallahassee, but all I know is her and Fraud, they went out to a seafood restaurant and they went back to his place. And the reason how I knew they went back to his place, because the next day Cindy came to my spot. It was Saturday, and she was venting to me, and she was just like, Asia, tell me if I'm tripping. And I'm just like, what you mean? So she gets on Snapchat, and she shows me another one of my coworkers' story. And this girl was known, we gonna call her passed around, or let's call her hot potato, y'all. This girl was just known to be like passed around the call center. Like she had relations with several of our coworkers, and like everybody just knew her as like the fun, wild, just passed around type of girl. So this girl, hot potato, she posted on her Snapchat story, because like I said, I follow my cousin on Snapchat, I follow Cindy on Snapchat, I follow Fraud, and I probably follow like 3 or 4, but I didn't follow a lot of my coworkers on Snapchat, but she followed literally everybody and their mama on Snapchat. So she comes to my house literally the next day of the night that we had that party or whatever. She was like, Asia, tell me if I'm tripping. So I'm looking at Hot Potato's story, and the girl posted a bag of seafood, and in the background you could tell that it's at Fraud's apartment or whatever. And this was that same day. Like she came to my house probably like afternoon, and the story said it was like a few hours ago, but it was the next day, y'all. So she's like, Asia, tell me if I'm tripping. I'm just like, what? Like she eating seafood? Like I forgot the name of the spot, y'all, but I'm just like, what? She eating like hot and juicy or whatever. And she was just like, Asia, this man gave her my bag of hot and juicy. Like that's my bag of hot and juicy. So I'm just like, stop playing with me. Like he wouldn't do that. She was like, Asia, that's my bag of hot and juicy. There ain't no way. Like that's literally my leftovers. He gave her my leftovers or whatever. And I'm just like, he literally would not do that. And she was like, Asia, I could tell the way the bag looked, the wrapping around the bag, he gave her my leftovers. So now she 38 hot, she's going off because she was like, basically like, this man is broke. Like, you couldn't even afford to get her more seafood. You brought the next girl over there from the job and you gave her my leftover seafood that I left over there that I just had last night. And y'all, at this time, I thought Cindy was crazy. I'm like, Cindy, that's not your food. Like, he wouldn't do that. Like, who gives somebody someone else's leftover food? Like, he just wouldn't do that, y'all. So I thought she was a little crazy, but to this day, I'm pretty sure, y'all, she swore up and down that the girl Hot Potato had her leftover seafood, and she posted it on her Snapchat as well. And she thinks Fraud gave it to her because he couldn't afford to take her out for seafood. So after that situation, she was just like, yeah, like, this is the brokest I can go. So she ends up cutting him off. They stopped talking. And like I said, me and the guy that I met at the whole call center, we're no longer together. He was just a for now type of boyfriend. Y'all know the situation where I had to call 911 due to the pasta situation. Like, that was it for me. Like, we stopped talking shortly after that. And then fast forward now, I'm not really talking to anybody. Like, I'm single and I'm living my life. There's another story time where I told y'all about what's his name? I don't even remember his name, but it's a story time about how this guy was basically playing both sides and he was dating me and my sister at the same time. I'm gonna put that story time right here. I told y'all, it's a lot of y'all. It's probably like 4 story times that y'all need to watch to tie this whole story time in together. So I'm gonna put that right here. But for the new people, so if y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, basically in high school, I was casually dating this guy. This guy was also talking to my sister, but he was playing the field as if my sister wanted him and she was going behind my back, but really they were both going behind my back, and she was planning on leaving. I guess I can't even talk, y'all. He was planning on leaving her for me, but he ended up trying to leave me for her, and I ended up finding out about the whole situation because my sister called and she told me about how they had something going on. Fast forward, I'm in Tallahassee now. I'm in college. That happened my senior year of high school. After that situation happened with me finding out that this fraudulent, we're gonna call him Fraud 2.0. Fraud 2.0 was talking to my sister. I cut him off. He was dead to me after that situation. Fast forward, I'm a junior now. I'm in college. Fraud 2.0, he moves to Tallahassee. Mind you, I haven't seen this man for like 3 years. I'm in college now, and I'm not the same person in high school anymore. Like, whatever he did then, I forgave him. Like, I didn't want anything to do with him, y'all, but I forgave him or whatever. And this really is fraud 2.0 because he was actually from I think he was from Deerfield, and if y'all don't know where Deerfield is at, it's somewhere by Miami, and all they do is scam. So he had his little situation down there where he was scamming. He came to Tallahassee, Florida to start scamming more people. So at this time, y'all gonna have to go back to watch that story time to get the full story about how he came back into my life. But let's just say I let him back into my life, y'all, and when I let him back into my life, it was never going to be the same how I felt for him in high school. It was kind of on some just like, oh, hey, it's you again. You a scammer now and you trying to spend the money. And I'm a broke college student, so I'm going to let you spend the money. And just in case anybody watching this video, this is for entertainment purposes only. If the feds watching, this is for entertainment purposes only, so we clear. Okay, y'all. So he was a scammer at the time. And I don't know how much he was scamming, but I know he was swiping up some numbers or whatever. And like I said, I'm from Ocala, Florida. At this time, I didn't really know what type of scams he was into. I know what card swiping is, y'all, but I don't really know the ins and out of it. I know the tricks where they drop fake checks to your bank, but I don't know the ins and out of any of the scam. At the time, I didn't know anything. My junior year in college, I didn't really know the logistics of how the scam situation was going on. I just remember he was scamming, and he would like come to my house. He would like pick me up, and he would take me shopping from time to time, or like if I just needed gas in my car, like he would have me take him somewhere, y'all, and he would fill up my tank. He was just doing like little stuff for me here and there while I was in college. And like I said, I was broke, so if you want to spend $1, I'm not finna stop you from spending $1. Like, I'm gonna let a dog spend $1. So he was just spending $1 here and there. And then one day he came up to me, and like I said, I knew he was scamming, y'all, but that wasn't none of my business. Like, I didn't get in between him and none of his scamming. information. Like if you wanted to connect to my Wi-Fi, like no, because I don't need them to chase your VPN back to this address. Like I wasn't in any of his scamming situation. All I just knew, I knew that he did it, but y'all, I wasn't in on any of it. One day he came to me, y'all, with the proposal, and he's just like, Asia, I'm gonna give you a cut. I don't know, remember what the cut he was offering me, but it could have been like 10%, y'all. He was saying, I'm gonna give you a cut. All I need you to do is recruit people. Like I need you to recruit family people for me to scam. He basically wanted me to, because I was at the school for 3 years, and he was new in the city, y'all. He didn't know anybody. So he used to hang out on FAMU campus all day and night, but he didn't really know anybody, so people wasn't friendly or whatever to him. So he wanted me to like recruit people and then give them to him and basically lie and say like, hey, do you have Bo? Well, y'all know how the scams go. Ask people what their bank is. If they had their bank for more than X amount of years, tell them that he can give you back this amount of money. All you have to do is give me back this. Y'all know the scams. Basically, he wanted me to recruit people. And of course, y'all, I'm not a scammer, and I'm not going to jail for nobody. So I told him absolutely not. I told him no. I'm not recruiting you to anybody. Like, why would I agree to do that? Like, that's gonna mess up my face card. Imagine if I recruit people and then you don't even go to the school and you giving people a fake name. Like, you're not even giving people your government name. And then these people get scammed and their account get closed down and they come back to me and they trying to beat me up and I'm going to jail over something that you did and I don't know, and I'm just getting 10%. You know, it wasn't making sense, y'all. So he came to me like, he really thought I was a dummy, y'all. He came to me like a dummy and he was just like, hey, can you help me do this, da, da, da? Do you know anybody? And then y'all remember, I knew that Cindy was a swiper. I knew that Cindy was a scammer, and I knew that Cindy needed money at this time. I didn't tell y'all, but let me back up a little bit. Cindy ended up getting fired from the Hood call center, and it was a whole ordeal with that. Like the day that I'm not even gonna go too much in detail on how she got fired, because if you worked at the Hood call center, you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. But all I'm gonna say, my girl didn't go out like a bee, y'all. My girl went out. Like when I say she went out, she basically came to the job, requested to speak to the CEO. They had disabled her badge to get into the job. They wouldn't even let her pass the metal detector. She basically went out with a bang. She came up there, she shook the building, and she left. It was just a whole lot going on, and she didn't have a job anymore. And this is around the time where he was telling me that he needed me to promote people, and I'm just like, absolutely not. I'm not getting between any of this, but I know somebody that might be interested in whatever you trying to build. I hit up Cindy and I'm just like, hey Cindy, I know somebody that got this going on. Do you want in on it? So she's like, what is he doing? Like, how is he flipping it? Like, she's asking me all of these questions, and I'm just like, girl, I don't know. All I know is it's some type of scam, and I know you get down with the get down. So if you want the connection, let me know. I'll give you his number and y'all can handle that. But you know, don't put me in none of it, because I'm not a scammer, y'all. So I give Cindy's his information, and I think she started texting him or whatever, and that's that. But they had never formally met. So at this time, mind you, I'm rolling with Scammer 2.0. Well, his name was Fraudulent 2.0. I'm rolling with Fraud 2.0, aka Scammer 2.0, aka Fraudulent 2.0. Like, I'm rolling with him, meaning if I need to like go out to eat, like if I'm hungry, can you bring me a chicken sandwich? Like if I need to get something from the mall, can you send me some money to get something from the mall? If I need gas in my car. I wasn't really calling him so much, y'all, but he was trying to like get me back how he had me in high school. So he was overdoing himself. Like, he was coming and pick me up. He was like, you know, he was trying to like trick himself off to me. Mind you, had never kissed this man. No, we kissed in high school, but since the whole ordeal with my sister in high school, we had never kissed after that. Fast forward my junior year in college, never kissed, never hugged, never really done anything, y'all. It was really just giving trick, but he wasn't getting any benefits from me, because y'all, I was not on that. Because like I said, you betrayed me in high school, so I'm not going back. So he was just doing all of this, really trying to get me back, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was eating it up. So boom, one day we were going to a party. I was going to the party with Cindy, and he was like trying to be up my butt this day. He was like trying to see what I was doing, what I was going. And I'm just like, hey, I'm going to this party. He was like, all right, let me scoop y'all, whatever. It was actually Halloween, y'all. It was Halloween, because I remember he took me to the mall. He bought me my, what was I? I think I was a cop that year. He bought me my Halloween costume. I posted pictures because I was real cute. I was real cute. I'm gonna post the pictures right here, y'all. But I was a cop that year. He got me my whole costume, and we was going to, what's that club called? What is that club? They no longer have this club. Freak, what's the name of that club? I can't think of the name of the club, but y'all, what is the name of that club? I can't think of the name, y'all, but this club was the club. Oh, Play off Tennessee Street, y'all. He took us to Play. Before he did, I just remember it was another bad vibe that I was getting from Cindy, because Cindy is at my house with me. He had already dropped me off home earlier because he had took me to the mall so I can get the Halloween costume. And I remember I was having trouble putting on my costume. I don't know why, y'all, but I just couldn't get in my I had like mesh tights on underneath my shorts. I couldn't get into them, and he was like helping me put my shorts on, and I had on like panties and stuff, y'all. But I just remember having him help me put my shorts on, and Cindy was in my room while he was helping me put my shorts on, and she was kind of like giving me like, I don't know, like mugging vibes, like jealousy vibes. Like she was like looking at me and just like, y'all doing a whole lot. Y'all might as well. I remember her saying something smart. She was like, oh, y'all might as well go ahead and freak. Like, do y'all need a room? Do you need me to get out? And I'm just like, no, girl, he just helping you. Mind you, y'all, me and Fraud 2.0 never had even kissed, no relations, nothing like that or whatever. So I'm just like, no, he just helped me put my tights on. So he helps me put my tights on. She making all these little smart remarks or whatever. And I just remember he drops us off to the club or whatever. And also, this is her first time meeting him. Like, I formally introduced them, but they had already been texting about their little scammer business or whatever. So boom, he drops us off to the club, and I just remember her bringing the whole situation back up with him. So she's just like, you know, y'all would be real cute, chocolate on chocolate or whatever. Like, he was real dark skinned and tall, y'all. She was like, y'all would be real cute, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, girl, it's not even giving that. He just trying to get me back. Like, he want me, and he can't have me, but I'm gonna go ahead and play into it, you know, because I like money, I like shopping sprees. I need gas in my car. Like, I'm just gonna play into it. So I'm telling her, like, I don't want him. If you want him, you can have him or whatever, because I don't want him. Like, we not that type of friend. Like, we literally, we're just friends. Like, we just old friends from the past. Like, we not doing that. So she's just like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. But she keeps saying, like, y'all are cute. She keeps trying to put him on me. But it's just like, honey, if I wanted him, I would have had him, but I don't want him or whatever. So the night ends or whatever, and probably like a few weeks go by. I totally forgot all about him and her, because I ended up finding out. I found out, what did I find out? I found out, oh, he stopped talking to me, y'all, simply because it's another story time. Y'all, it's so many story times that connect to this story time. So this story time, click this story time right here. This was the story time about how Fraudulent 2.0 scammed one of my close friends' roommates, and she blamed it on me that she got scammed. He scammed her. Remember I said he lined them up on the couch? That's the story time. So around this time, she had me to keep contacting him because her account had got closed down. She had a joint account with her mother. It was a whole lot of going on. So y'all want to know about that, how he scammed like half of FSU? Watch that story time right here. So at this time, I kept contacting him just for the sake of my friend's roommate, and I was cool with the girl, you know, just trying to put her in communication with him because he was dodging her. And I guess he got tired of me calling his phone and asking about the money situation that they had going on. He really started moving funny and not answering the calls for me. And like I said, I didn't really care too much like about it, simply because it's just like, you know, I never had feelings with you. I wasn't finna let myself have feelings for you, because it's just like what you did in high school was unacceptable. Like, I'm never going back. So we stopped talking, and at this point, I'm still friends with Cindy. Me and Cindy relationship is kind of rocky at this point, just simply because she had a whole situation where she was getting kicked out of her apartment complex and she needed somewhere to stay. And I told her that she would have to pay like a percentage of my rent, and she wanted to stay with me for free, y'all. And I'm sorry, I knew it was gonna be an inconvenience, because we literally would have been sharing a student housing apartment. And I just feel like as an adult, because he was like 20, 21, probably 22 at this point. As an adult, if I ask to live with a friend, y'all, I'm gonna come with something, because you know life is not free. I'm gonna either put food in the house, I'm gonna pay the rent, have my half of the rent. I'm going to include something, you know. I'm not just gonna be there and just, you know, suck up air and be in somebody's face and not contribute to the household. So she asked, can she come stay with me? And she didn't really have a date. She didn't have an apartment lined up. She just wanted to come stay with me. And I told her, hey, you can come stay with me for a month or two, but you know, you're gonna have to pay half of my rent. She didn't like that. She wanted me to let her stay with me for free. So we got into this big thing, and it kind of made our relationship rocky at this point. But like I said, we were still friends. We would still hang out, but we just wouldn't hang out as frequent, just simply because she was mad about me telling her she would have to pay half of my rent in order for her to stay with me. And at this time, y'all, I lived in Cinema Grand. If you know how small Cinema Grand apartments is. Like, y'all, it ain't, y'all, Cinema Grand room is no bigger than like, y'all, it's probably, let's be for real, it's probably like 200 square foot. Like, it's not a lot of room in there. So I knew she was gonna be an inconvenience to me, and I just felt like it was only right that she contributed to my household. So we got into it. Shortly after that, I'm lying, it wasn't shortly after this. This probably was almost a year later. I knew that Fraudulent 2.0, he was still in the city. At this point, I'm no longer working at the Hood Call Center. She got fired, so she's no longer working at the Hood Call Center. But we both go to, did she go to, no, we both go to FAMU, so we still hanging out outside of work. We still seeing each other around campus. Sometimes we would do little study dates together. And Fraudulent 2.0 is still in the city because I would see him at FAMU, you know, trying to scare people. But, you know, we didn't have any beef, but I would just see him, he would see me, and we just really wouldn't say much. So I kind of had already just forgot about him or whatever. So one day I just remember she's at my house, and this particular day, y'all, I had brought my mail in, and I just remember her like looking at my mail. She's looking at my mail, and I was never secretive, y'all. My mail has my first name, my middle initial, and my last name on it. Like, I don't remember if it was a bill, but I just remember it was like an official document. Maybe it was when I was getting my passport. I don't know, y'all, but it was just like an official document that she was looking at. Like, she was like kind of snooping through my mail because I had brought my mail home. I opened my mail in front of her. I left it on my kitchen counter. I walked back in my room, and I just kind of seen her like looking through my mail or whatever. So I'm just like, you a tad nosy, ain't you? But I didn't say nothing, y'all. I just kind of took my mail, closed it up, and I put it in the junk drawer in the junk drawer in my kitchen. Y'all know everybody got that junk drawer. Put it in there. Didn't think anything of it. Tell me why. It probably was like 48 hours later, y'all. I end up getting all of these like fraudulent things on my car. Like, my car had charges on it. Bank of America had locked my whole account, and they was basically saying that my account was in the negative. So I'm just thinking, like, how is my account in negative? So immediately the first thing I did, I tried to log onto my Bank of America app because they sent me an email, y'all. So I tried to log onto the BOA app, and it wouldn't let me log in. It was like, please at this time go to like a local Bank of America. And then the first thing I want to do is check my card. So I'm looking for my card. Y'all, I can't find my card. So this girl stole my card, put all type of fraudulent, basically, what are those cards called? She had eBay cards. It was like all types of purchases. Like, it was like $2,500 worth of eBay cards, y'all. She had purchased so many eBay cards. If you a scammer or you know how to scam and work, I'm not going to explain it in this video, but yeah, she made all those purchases on my card, and I knew it was her. So after that situation, of course, I contacted her, and I was just like, do you have my card? Did you take my card? She, y'all, up and down denied it. No, I don't have your card. Why would I have your card? Why would happen? I was like, well, my account is in the negatives, and I see all these eBay charges. And y'all, I knew to call her because I remember when I seen the swipers in her card, some of the cards were like those visas that you could just add money on it. There was eBay cards, and just from me being around Fraudulent 2.0, he had a lot of eBay cards. So I just linked everything together, and I knew that she scammed me, and it was with like his trick. I don't know if he taught her the trick or if she bit him the trick, because like I said, she was also from Miami. But this story time is long, y'all. This is pretty much a story time on how my friend switched out on me for a scammer. And it's crazy that although I knew that she scammed me, y'all, I didn't immediately cut her off after that. She ended up doing something else shortly after that, and that's how I ended up cutting her off. But after that situation, I definitely distanced myself from her, and I was hurt. Like, why would you scam me out of all people? Like, what happened to your sugar daddies? Like, why would you scam me? But like I said, y'all, she was one of those materialistic girls, and she did live outside her means. That's the whole situation why she was getting kicked out of her apartment complex. So, you know, when people are living outside of their means, they will literally do anything. So that's why now I'm very careful with the type of friends that I have in my life. Like, if I see that you want to live the type of like a Jada Waiter lifestyle on like a McDonald's budget, then it's just like, I don't even want to be friends with you. I want to associate myself with people that's really leveling up and that's really on stuff and that's really going places and doing things. But like I said, at this time in college, I was friends with any and everybody, y'all. I used to be friends with people that didn't do anything but just gossip all day and smoke weed. I don't even smoke weed, y'all, but I was just associated and I was friends with those type of people. Like, now you can't pay me to just have a like be with somebody and just be gossiping and just talking about people, and like we don't have nothing else to talk about. Like, now when I talk to my friends, we have the meaningful conversations. We talking about traveling, we talking about real estate, we talking about money, we talking about education, we talking about YouTube, we talking about business, we talking about the spiritual things. We're just, y'all, we having in-depth conversations. But at this time in my life, I had like a lot of low value friends and I didn't really care, y'all. But I wish I could remember. I'm gonna probably have to piece together. If y'all want the story time on how me and her officially ended things, please comment that down below, because I'm gonna have to pull up some receipts for that because it's kind of blurry. Like, I remember the situation that happened, but I don't remember exactly how it happened, if that makes sense. But if y'all want that story time, let me know. And again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video.